Bobby Sherman's name once meant something unmistakable. A clean-cut heartthrob, a gentle voice, and a young man who seemed too wholesome to be real. Born Robert Cabot Sherman Jr. on July 22, 1943, in Santa Monica, California, he grew up in Southern California with a family who encouraged his artistic interests. He learned trumpet and guitar early, and his natural stage presence made him stand out. After graduating from Birmingham High School, he attended Pierce College in Woodland Hills, where his musical talent flourished. His big break came when actor-producer Sal Manno noticed him and cast him in a rock and roll musical. From there, Sherman's life changed forever. He became one of the most beloved teen idols of the late 1960s and early 1970s, known for his sweet demeanor, his soft voice, and his ability to make teenage audiences swoon. Here Come the Brides, the show that made him a legend. Sherman's rise to fame accelerated when he was cast as Jeremy Bolt on ABC's Here Come the Brides, 1968 to 1970. His character was a shy, kind logger, and the role quickly became a cultural touchstone. Viewers adored his soft-spoken charm, and teenage girls across America were captivated by his dreamy eyes and gentle smile. The show made him a household name, and his acting success helped launch a thriving music career. His songs, like Little Woman, Julie, and Do You Love Me, became chart-topping hits, and his records sold in the millions. As his popularity grew, he appeared on major television specials and teen-oriented programs, becoming a staple of American pop culture. He was featured on magazine covers, posters, lunchboxes, and countless fan club memorabilia, making him one of the most recognizable figures of his generation. A pop career of innocent romance and youthful idealism. Sherman's music was the soundtrack of a generation that still believed in innocence and romance. His songs were bright, melodic, and sincere, often centered around young love, longing, and devotion. His performances on American Bandstand and The Ed Sullivan Show showcased not only his singing ability, but also his gentle charisma. Fans screamed when he entered a room, and his concerts were filled with teenagers waving signs and crying with excitement. Yet, despite the chaos of fame, Sherman remained humble and grounded. He was known for being respectful, polite, and genuinely grateful for his audience. Even as his popularity skyrocketed, he kept his personal life private, and his public persona stayed consistent. A clean-cut, kind young man who never seemed to want anything more than to make people happy through music. A life of service, the unexpected second career. Unlike many teen idols who faded into obscurity, Bobby Sherman reinvented himself in a way that few could have predicted. In the 1980s, he stepped away from entertainment and dedicated himself to public service. He became a certified emergency medical technician and later joined the Los Angeles Police Department as a technical reserve officer. He focused on CPR training and community safety, applying the same sincerity and dedication he had shown as a performer. He co-founded the Bobby Sherman Volunteer EMT Foundation, which trained thousands of police officers and emergency responders in life-saving techniques. In this new role, he wasn't just admired, he was trusted. His work saved lives, and his commitment to service became a defining chapter of his legacy. Returning to acting, a final glimpse of Hollywood. In 1986, Sherman made a rare return to television with a role on NBC's sitcom Sanchez of Bel-Air. Though the show had a short run, it marked an important moment. A teen idol returning to a new era of television. No longer as a young romantic lead, but as a seasoned performer. He also appeared in a few films, most notably the family adventure He Is My Brother, 1975, where he played a young man struggling with loyalty and courage. In 1983, he appeared in the cult comedy Get Crazy, playing a villainous henchman in a self-aware parody of rock and roll culture. It was a surprising role for someone who had been known for innocence and romance, but it revealed his willingness to reinvent himself and embrace the humor of his own fame. The Teen Idol Tour. A farewell to the spotlight. After years away from the public eye, Sherman returned to the stage in 1998 as part of the Teen Idol Tour. He shared the stage with fellow legends Peter Noone, of Herman's Hermits, and Davy Jones of the Monkees. The tour celebrated nostalgia and the enduring power of 1960s pop music. Fans who had grown up with Sherman returned to relive their youth, cheering for the same man they once adored on magazine covers. When Davy Jones left the tour in 1999, Mickey Dolenz stepped in, keeping the energy alive. Sherman's performances reminded audiences of his lasting charm, and the tour became a final tribute to a generation of music that shaped American culture. Family life, love, loss, and new beginnings. Sherman's personal life was quieter than his public persona, but no less meaningful. He married Patty Carnell during the height of his fame, and together they had 2 sons, Christopher and Tyler. Despite the pressures of celebrity, Sherman remained a devoted father and stayed close to his children even after his marriage ended. Years later, he found love again. On July 18, 2010, he married Bridget Publin in Las Vegas, and the couple later founded the Bridget and Bobby Sherman Children's Foundation, focused on education and healthcare in Ghana. Their partnership reflected shared values of compassion and service, and their work together became a testament to the depth of Sherman's character beyond the stage. A memoir that changed the narrative. In the later years of his life, an unpublished memoir draft surfaced, revealing a side of Sherman few could have imagined. The manuscript claimed he had maintained secret romantic relationships with several gay actors of old Hollywood. These claims are unverified and have not been confirmed in mainstream interviews, but the memoir's tone was described as tender rather than sensational. It suggested that Sherman's life was shaped by the fear and secrecy that defined Hollywood's golden age, where careers could be destroyed by a single rumor. The memoir portrayed these relationships not as scandalous affairs, but as emotional connections forged in a world where authenticity came at a steep price. Tab Hunter, a brief romance in a hidden world. One name reportedly mentioned in the memoir was Tab Hunter, the 1950s matinee idol, who later publicly acknowledged his sexuality. Sherman allegedly wrote that he and Hunter shared a brief but emotionally charged romance during the late 1960s. They met at a Hollywood party and bonded over the pressure to maintain a false public image. According to the memoir, their relationship was marked by mutual support and quiet tenderness. Sherman wrote that Hunter carried sadness behind his famous smile, but together they found a rare sense of freedom. Even if the story remains unconfirmed, it reflects the complex reality faced by many actors at the time, an existence where love had to remain hidden for survival. Rock Hudson and Anthony Perkins, bonds of friendship and longing. The memoir also reportedly described a relationship with Rock Hudson, the towering star whose private life was famously hidden from the public. Sherman's notes allegedly described a mentorship that evolved into a brief, deeply affectionate bond during the early 1970s. Hudson was portrayed as someone who could laugh freely with Sherman, even while carrying the weight of Hollywood's expectations. Another name mentioned was Anthony Perkins, the brooding star of Psycho. Sherman allegedly wrote that their connection was emotionally intense, built on shared artistic sensitivity and a mutual need for companionship. The memoir described long hours at the piano, where music expressed what words could not. Whether these claims are true or not, they highlight the secret lives many performers were forced to live, where friendship and love had to be concealed behind carefully crafted public personas. Final years, illness, reflection, and a legacy of service. In March 2025, Sherman's family announced that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer. The news shocked fans who remembered him as a vibrant young star, but those close to him said he faced the illness with courage and grace. He spent his final months in Los Angeles surrounded by loved ones, including his wife Bridget and his sons. Even in his illness, he remained a symbol of compassion, strength, and quiet dignity. On June 24, 2025, he passed away peacefully at age 81. The world mourned not just a former teen idol, but a man who had reinvented himself through service and love. His legacy endures through his music, his public service, and the lives he touched as an EMT and community advocate. Outro. The man behind the icon. Bobby Sherman's story is more than a tale of fame. It is the story of a young man who rose to stardom in an era that demanded he remain perfect, then later chose a life of humility and service. Whether or not the memoir's claims are true, the mere possibility of hidden relationships underscores the fear and secrecy many entertainers faced. Sherman's true legacy is his courage, both on stage and off. He gave millions the joy of his music, and he gave countless others the gift of his compassion. His life reminds us that the people we idolize are human, with private struggles and private truths. In the end, Bobby Sherman remains a figure of enduring kindness, a star who shone brightly and then chose to help others shine too.